structure. Unfortunately, only by shocking stories can they do that inversion. So writing is the skill that you're struggling with, right? Well, we're here to see some other samples. We're here to learn from other people's mistakes. It's the cheapest way. You don't have to make mistakes yourself, but there are a lot to learn. In that case, welcome to IELTS Juice. Let's start assessing an essay this time. The media, should include more stories which report good news. The media is a hot topic, and we need to be prepared for that because it's one of the topics that IELTS loves to include in our exams and in specific in our writing exams. So just be prepared for it. Also, it touches on an interesting part of the media that they usually include bad news. So the rubric here tells us that it's the media's job to actually include more good news for us. To what extent do you agree or disagree? It's an opinion essay. It has only one main idea to address and develop. It's not that big a deal. But the part that it actually makes it a little challenging is the media here basically gives us a wide range. We can work on any medium. You can focus on the newspaper. You can focus on TV or TV programs, TV shows, news channels. You can focus on the social media even. But when you are going to do that, remember, you need to have a reason for this. So you need to say that, yeah, there is TV. Yeah, there used to be the radio. Now it's more like a mix of podcast with a radio setup, but it has a video, so you can see it on YouTube. So there are different varieties. But when you want to be specific about a certain medium, make sure before you do that, you let your audience know why you are choosing that specific medium. And you still acknowledge that the media is a large spectrum and there are other mediums over there. Anyway, let's move on and let's see what the response has to offer this time. These days, terrible news can be found at the front page. It's a page, so on the front page, and I don't need a hyphen because the front is an adjective, so front page of the media. So front page is kind of like the newspaper or these news apps. But anyway, I completely agree with this statement that the media should shy away from spreading more bad news into society. The rubric tells us that the media should report more good news. We are saying that we completely agree, and we need by reducing the number of bad news pieces, we will be able to automatically increase or somehow disrupt the balance. That makes sense. That's fine. But I would like to point out that you guys can do another strategy. You can say that, yeah, well, this is the world we're living in. There are a lot of terrible things happening around us, from global warming to increasing crime and poverty, maybe obesity as a disease, things like that. So they exist. Why don't we report more good news? So we cannot do anything about the bad news part. Let's focus on the good news part. And let's increase the number over there. That one strategy, but the strategy I can see here is to mitigate or to minimize the number of bad news. Let's see. This is the first body paragraph. Oh, and by the way, this is a very good introduction. I really liked it, and you could see that I was completely satisfied. I understood the elements and the writer's mind map in the following paragraphs. So on that note, let's just continue reading. There are some reasons that the media try to present and to highlight terrible news. Okay, so we're attacking terrible news now. And there are some reasons why they do that. Well, let's see. The central dynamic, wow, that's very good. That's good. Is that editors face a range of considerations, because a range consideration is countable. So if there's a range, it is definitely larger than one. So a range of considerations, forcing them, I like this comma, I like this structure, to exaggerate these topics. All right. Basically, I don't like to use words like this and that and these and those in an essay. I understand what you're thinking. Basically, when we speak, we have our hands and we can point out at the object or objects and we can say, yeah, can you see those cars parked over there? Oh, this car? Oh, this is mine. You can actually physically say if an object or a group of objects are far from you or they're close. But this is a writing, and I know it makes sense. It's just not a beautiful word to use. I'm just telling you, try to find better variations for this, that, these, those, specifically when you are going to address or you are going to use them as a referent, meaning as something that you would like to reference to. When you say these topics, instead you can say such topics, topics in this genre, topics in this column, or topics that follow the same category. That is more writing friendly. Okay, again, nothing is wrong with this. That's just we are not there to see your hands, and this is going to be your representative. This is an element that maybe you would like to improve. Firstly, they are under some pressure from owners, from media owners, not homeowners. This is the first time we hear the word owner in this paragraph and in this essay. And we would like to know, I mean, basically, I know it is the media owner, but it's not written here. So this is also something that we need to improve to promote a particular view, such as political and social. Yeah, political view, social view. All right. I would have written this in a full format, such as political or social views. That would sound better than just such as political. Just political alone, and an adjective that is left alone like this doesn't sound good. Furthermore, these editors, apostrophe after S, correct, job is to make their media more profitable by prioritizing public interests, which is the more viewers, the better. I like it. I like it. Because their income heavily hinges, wow, that's beautiful, heavily hinges upon the advertisement, upon the advertisements most of the time. Oh, this is not a sentence. This is a dependent clause. I think we don't need this full stop here, and this sentence continues like the more viewers the better, because and I need no punctuation marks, because their income heavily hinges upon the advertisements most of the time. That makes sense. If you don't want to use because, and you definitely want to stop it here because your sentence is long, maybe you could put a semicolon and start your sentence by saying, you can say that may be because their income heavily hinges upon blah, blah, blah. And you can continue with the sentence, but you need a better discourse marker that helps you have an independent clause. If they come up with a new brilliant strategy for a product which contributes to the increasing sales of a company, they can raise their revenues. This is a very good if clause. I like it. It's fine. It's a zero conditional structure. Unfortunately, only by shocking stories can they do that inversion. Correctly executed inversion. Only by shocking stories can they do that. Oh, what they believe. The punctuation here is not correct. Only by shocking stories can they do what they believe. I believe that's better. You just remove that, but this is faulty. All right. But I'm not undermining the inversion value. This is another grammar, and yeah, that's a little faulty. That needs better connection. All right. In this first body paragraph, I understood that why we have bad news, and these guys want to gain more. They want to have more views. They have an agenda that they would like to promote, and their income heavily hinges, I'm borrowing words, upon their ads money, ads revenue, and also they would like to increase their revenue for that. So basically, I understand why these people do this. I mean, spreading bad news. Let's see what the other body paragraph tells us. The first body paragraph, before I continue with the second body paragraph, let me tell you that the first body paragraph laid the ground for me. Now I know why these people spread bad news. And remember, the whole strategy here was to minimize bad news. So let's see what happens in the second body paragraph. There are, however, some strong reasons that journalists are better to welcome more pleasant topics. So it sounds to me that we're going to talk about some good news here. From a psychology point of view, had it not been for the present editorial policies, a plethora of individuals would not have been depressed. Wow! Third conditional, advanced level. I mean, it's reduced without an if, and it's executed. I mean, it is executed correctly with words like a plethora. This is amazing. And look at I even love the word psychology. It's spelled correctly. Yeah, it is missing an e here because psychology here is a countable word, but still, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. One more thing, other than this being beautiful, this is also efficient. You see, I have a complex structure executed in not just in a normal way, but in an advanced level. And you also have some beautiful vocabulary in it. Talk about taking an opportunity. A sentence very rich that carries a lot of value for your final score. This is efficient. Beautiful / efficient. To boost the health level of the society, it is vital. I need a. It is vital for editors to change their strategies. Moreover, the internet, newspapers, news channels, and the other sort of media. I know we need to say the media, but we have a the here, so you can skip this one. Are. Why is? The internet, newspaper, it's more than one. Newspapers, news channels, and other sorts of media, again, media is plural, are for increasing the community's awareness, are there to increase the community's awareness. I think that's what we wanted to say. There's a missing element here. Not for trading profits. Trading profits is a very good collocation. By spreading more disastrous news, people may lose their glimpse of hope or even their faith in the media. I'm not sure I'm following the connection. So I think we are now talking about the good side of the story, spreading good news, and we're saying we're coming back again to the detriments of spreading bad news. Okay, thus it is crucial for them to stop magnifying bad news. We weren't supposed to talk about bad news here. The conclusion is relevant, but I was hoping that the second part, when we talk about this, moreover, the second part of this body paragraph, I was hoping that we were supposed to talk more about how bad it is to put profit over the health of any community. We didn't do that. We started talking about hope. I feel there is a missing element. It's too sudden that you go from not giving priority to profits to hope. And I needed a connection here. I am filling in with my own knowledge, which I shouldn't. My job is to read. My job is not to write what hasn't been written here. So that's the writer's job, actually. Moving on to the conclusion. In conclusion, I hold my opinion that it is In conclusion, I hold my opinion that it is of paramount significance. Beautiful, beautiful. For the media to give up publishing depressing topics. To give up publishing depressing topics. Instead, I need a comma here. They should welcome a greater emphasis on optimistic titles to fulfill hopes in the society. And that would be the second body paragraph. 298 words. Let's look at the band descriptors. Okay, good. Good, good. Now, let me first tell you that task response is very, very well done because there was just one main idea to address, and the writer went so far as to say that there are bad news. Yes, we need to spread more good news. Yes, but we can minimize bad news to just give hope to people. There were certain small elements, a missing sentence or two in the second body paragraph that I really wanted to see to make it a 9. So it's almost perfect, but not 100%. But moving on to coherence and cohesion. The best element was paragraphing. The style of paragraphing was great. However, the connection between sentences, I saw there were some issues that the connection was faulty. And the overall progression was clear, but I waited all the way until the conclusion so that we had this mind frame. So we minimize the bad news, and then we say why we need good news. And again, we go back to our initial purpose, our initial idea, to minimize bad news for the sake of good news. I didn't see that in the conclusion. It doesn't mean it was bad. I saw the overall progression, but there wasn't an element like a map to tell me where we are going to. So every time you saw me, that every time at the beginning of every paragraph, I was waiting for something to happen. And in the conclusion, it was basically just, yes, there is bad news and we need good news. But that was a bit disappointing. I assumed the logic was to minimize the bad news, but in the end, I realized that it wasn't minimized. It was just bad news is bad, good news is good. We need more good news. That part needed more work. This essay really needs more coherence, like a general pattern on what you really want to do in this essay. And you need to tell me as the reader. You shouldn't leave me create sentences in my head. It's my job to read, not to write. Now, lexical resource 9. The range, beautiful. Collocations, spot on. Well used. Grammar, the same. The range was wide. I saw different conditional sentences. I saw relative clauses. I saw inversion. It's an advanced grammatical point. Even the previous grammatical points I mentioned were used in an advanced way, with correct control over the grammar. I really loved every element of it. I just saw some errors. We need more clarity and more accuracy for this essay. Do I see potential? Absolutely. Does this essay deserve 6.5? No. No. It deserves a 7, and even better than that. I see the potential for the writer to boost the score. We just need a little bit more accuracy and control over transitions among sentences and their arrangement. That should be the focus on this essay. You need to train your representatives, essays, letters, reports, to do the same, to be proud members, proud representatives of your thoughts. On that note, which I believe you 100% agree with me, I wish you a lovely day ahead.